My mind was so blown on what was coming through this morning. I think I did short circuit. I really think it was too much for me. It was just way too much to process. And I still haven't done such, but they're kind of piecemealing it again now. So I think I'm just going to start talking and see what comes out because, we've talked about astral projecting before and remote viewing, and there's all these different ways that people can more or less explore the world without ever leaving their living room. But I think that is something that, I've had that ability ever since I was a child. But I think, I never heard those terms before, astral projecting and remote viewing and all these things. So I had no context for what was happening. And, when I learned the word imagination, that's all I believed it was, my imagination, right? And many could argue that's the case, but not when you see and hear and learn things that you shouldn't from across the world that are actually happening. How else would you know? Nonetheless, there's just so much. What I was going to say is I have found that I think people who have trauma young, we do disassociate, right? It's like we do leave our bodies. And you've heard me reference it that way before, where it was like I was off in Never Never Land and I was blissful and it felt like home to me, right? Where I was in fields and running around and playing with lions and tigers and bears, and we were able to do all types of things, and it was just blissful and magical. And that sounds like an imagination almost, and it's like then I got back to me, right? It's like collecting oneself, collecting one's soul, gathering it all back together, coming to the present moment, healing from that past trauma. We can verbalize this many different ways, and depending on what field of study you're in, you're going to feel more comfortable with one line than another, because it'll reason and rationalize in a form that you're comfortable with, but that doesn't mean that it's always the clear truth of what is actually occurring. It's just something that makes most people more comfortable because they might not have ever experienced such things, and so to fathom some of the things I'm saying can be so wild, it's scary, and it's easier to call it insane or untrue or many things, and that's totally fine. But hear me through on all this if I can even get it all out. They have continually taken me to a place where it talks about lost souls. Help the lost souls. And that can mean so many different things too, really. And again, we can verbalize that many different ways in many different fields to make many different people feel more comfortable with that. Nonetheless, lately it's been interesting because if you recall in the very beginning when it was very active, of me getting on here and verbalizing more. It was like the more I verbalized, the more stuff was active because I was actually engaging with it more. And so I did have what we would consider lost souls. And some were my ancestors, some were from God knows how long ago. And so one could call them lost souls, right? It was like they needed to finish something, right? Like understand something, experience something to get their soul to settle, to allow their soul to rest or allow them to up level to the next level. And so they needed a body in order to do that, right? And so I would work with these energies. And then, what else? With this astral projecting and so many people able to do it, I mean, you can imagine, like, the fact that they teach that now, it's good and bad, right? It's like, well, if so many bad people are doing it, going in places and spaces they shouldn't be going and listening to, stealing people's ideas, dreams, all these things that, again, one could think that sounds crazy, and yet it's happening. So you can call it crazy all you want, but it's happening. And so it's almost like, well, I guess maybe everybody should know. So at least people then understand they need to protect themselves. How do they protect themselves? They have to fully love and accept themselves and be fully present within themselves and in their body. They have to be taking up their real estate. They have to be loving their life, which means they need to be present in their life and making conscious choices for their life and not for another, right? If you continually place others ahead of you, eventually you disassociate from who you are and out of your alignment, and anybody can hop in and utilize your body. They can utilize your real estate. And so it was kind of showing that this morning too. It's like so many people have no idea what they're doing when they're doing these astral projecting, remote viewing, because it's become so widely spread. People are doing it. Like I said, there's programs out. So to me, I don't look into that stuff as much. So when I did and I saw that, I was shocked by it, which means there's probably so much more out there that I'm not aware of, which means there's probably even more people doing it than I realize. And so you leave your body and you can have lost souls take up real estate. And then you don't know why you're going insane. You don't know why you're doing the things you're doing. You don't know why this is happening or that's happening. There's so much that's occurring. It's the idea of, you've heard, the Bible references as like demons in that person. It's like, it's just out of character for that person because it's not that person. There is another spirit that has merged and joined in. And you don't want that to happen. This is your life, your time, your experience, your choices, and you can choose to do that. So it's up to you to, it's like seal up all the holes. That is the best way I can say it. Like, you don't want to have leaks. If you have leaks and tears in your aura and your field and your energy and all these things, you're susceptible to that. Well, how do you do that? How do you do that? You have to love yourself. You have to take a real honest look at yourself. You have to look at your blind spot. You have to see what you're actually fearing, why you're not living the life you want to live, why you're not doing the things you really want to do, why are you waiting? Well, one day, what is your excuse book, right? Because you're then opting out. You're then choosing to allow others to run your show and invisible entities to jump in your body. I mean, so much wild stuff has been coming through that I'm hesitant to even share it all, but I feel like that's a broad stroke of, God, they want me saying more. I'm just not ready to share all that right now. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.